I'm protective of them.
Right.
If you attack my daughters or my wife, I'm coming for you. I'm real protective.
Steve Harvey says this not only to haters, but also to his own kids, co-workers, exes, and even viewers. Today, we will tell you who the Family Feud host sacrificed so his wife, Marjorie, was happy. Subscribe and hit the bell to know what Steve is lying about to save Mrs. Harvey's reputation. How did the crew of The Steve Harvey Show and other projects suffer from his wife obsession? And most importantly, how did Marge reward her husband for such devotion? For 2 months now, the internet has been buzzing about Marjorie's cheating on Steve with his bodyguard, William Big Boom. The host publicly ridiculed this rumor.
Before I get started, just let me say I'm fine. Marjorie's fine. I don't know what you're doing, but find something else to do because we're fine. Lord have mercy.
His wife, in return, posted the article What to Do If They Lie About You. But did you notice none of the answers directly said that Marjorie did not cheat on her husband? And to make this rumor disappear and clear his beloved wife's reputation, Steve made sacrifices. To shift the focus from this scandal, he created 2 new ones. Firstly, he proved with action his words that if someone attacks his woman, he will come for them. That is what happened to Shirley Strawberry. A month ago, her call to her husband in prison, recorded back in October 2022, surfaced online.
Marjorie has her own spa, her own workout room, and her own spa. And she could go in there and get massages every day. People come to her house.
There, that Harvey radio show's co-host said that he does everything for his wife. He does not invite in those she does not like and never leaves his part of the house not to anger her. And on September 11, 2023, the woman had to apologize for her words.
Marjorie looks at us as the help. And right here and now, I want to apologize to you and Marjorie for what I said.
They say that in order to keep her job, she had to not only apologize, but also divorce her husband. The couple is indeed going through a divorce, and yet there is no evidence Steve told her to leave Ernest Williams, because of whom the call went viral. But Shirley's recent sacrifice for Mrs. Harvey's peace of mind was not the first. Steve fired the media manager in a very public way, so this news would also overshadow his wife's cheating. And the tweet that got him fired got 1 million views. There was a poll what comedian is not funny. Steve pretended it upset him.
Talking about, I was trying to get some engagement. Okay, you trying to get some employment too. My badge-o. Now I gotta come on here and doing a damn video.
The host even interrupted his fishing trip to record a video. There's a lot of fuss over a call from a year ago and a small tweet. Don't you think they hit the internet just in time? And many forgot about Marge's cheating, but there were also those who saw familiar features in Harvey's actions. He had already sacrificed people before for his wife's happiness. For example, he fired an entire crew who refused to move from Chicago to glamorous Los Angeles.
I just locked in with this chick, man, and she gave me a lot of good advice, man. She made me see things in a different way, and it was her, man.
According to Variety, in 2015, Steve's show was moved to LA after 5 seasons, which many were not happy about. Harvey struck a new deal with NBC Universal and IMG to launch a revamped show that would give him a share of the profits and control of production. Immediately after this news, Robert Fetter's Chicago media blog posted a letter from one of Steve's employees. There was a set of new rules, and one said,
Do not take offense to the new way of doing business. It is for the good of my personal life and enjoyment.
Moreover, the comedian gave up comedy for his wife. The man who said he was born again after his first stand-up performance in 1985 has given up what he loved. He performed last back in 2013 and recently explained to The Hollywood Reporter that making a new show on Netflix is too risky. His jokes are offensive, and he will be canceled. His radio and TV shows and his motivational coaching business will shut down. It will upset his wife. After all, since 2007, Harvey has done everything for her.
After her, man, I mean, really, you look at my career and my life after her, it's just been a rocket shot. You credit her.
It was at her instigation that the host also became a writer. Since 2009, he has published 4 books that became bestsellers, and one, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, was filmed in 2012. It grossed $96 million at the box office. That added zeros to Steve and his wife's account. It's clear why he is ready to hurt others. This woman made him successful, except she didn't. Harvey is lying to create the aura of a magical woman around Marjorie and not just a gold digger. He was made by his other wife, Mary.
Because I knew them, I went to them and I actually got them to put up the money for the club. I raised $250,000 and we came up with contracts.
In 1993, she invited her husband to open his own club, Steve Harvey's Comedy House, in Dallas and helped raise money from his fans, football players, and celebrities. Mary was Steve's second wife and another sacrifice he made for Marjorie. After all, he not only left her and their son, Winton, to be with Marge, but also deprived the ex of everything because Mary almost destroyed Marjorie's reputation.
The judge said our divorce would be contingent upon the division of community assets, but that never happened. Steve is married to both me and his new wife.
According to her, her ex-husband owes her $50 million, which will impact his budget with his new wife, who is accustomed to luxury. To fly Marjorie around in style, Steve rented a private jet for $400,000, but he paid only half of this amount. And, in 2015, Business Aircraft Leasing Inc. sued him. He somehow won the case, and now his wife's stylist, Ellie Caramo, posts videos of Marge posing inside the plane during various trips. This luxury suits her so well. But to ensure his wife's reputation remained untarnished, Steve went even further.
She was bringing those kids to see me up until, even with Donnell, Laura's dad, was cool. We cool. Until 3 days before she got married.
Once he decided to marry Marjorie in 2007, her jailed dealer husband became a liability. After all, Jim Townsend threatened to tell everything about his ex's dark past. Steve could not allow this to happen and did everything to keep his wife away from this criminal. Do you want to know what Harvey did to prevent Jim's book Snakes in the Garden from being published? We have a video about this. Be sure to watch how ex-husbands expose Marjorie. But you ask, why is Steve doing all this for her? According to him, this is how his beloved repaid him.
It gotta be her.
Right.
Because for the first time, man, I had peace at my house.
A keeper and an ideal mother. That's what Harvey got after 2 broken marriages. But something tells us the peace reigned in the Harvey house only for Steve and Marge. No wonder their children were against this union.
They went bowling one night in Memphis when me and Marjorie first got together. We brought all the kids together, all 7 of them. And all the girls went bowling and came back and decided they didn't want us to get married and said they don't think it's the right thing to do.
And what did Dad do? Of course, he married to spite everyone. He pointed out to his daughters he was paying for their education, and after the wedding, he kicked out the eldest ones, Brandy, Carly, and Morgan. Of course, Steve said that the girls had grown up and needed to live separately. But it's very curious that they were the ones who left the host's huge mansion.
Years later, they said to me, "Dad, we didn't understand why you left us, but we know now you had to go. You didn't belong to us."
Only the sons and Marge's youngest daughter, Lori, remained. Well, you might say the girls were just jealous, but the guys were okay with the stepmom. And you will be wrong. Steve convinced the boys otherwise.
And how can you shame a young man like that when they're going into their manhood, to strip him down like that, and you just beat him till he bled?
Mary Harvey said her youngest son, Winton, suffered after he started living in the house with Marjorie. Due to litigation with her husband, she could not be there, and custody was awarded to Steve.
And I just beat myself up because I was not there to keep them off of him.
The boy was given to Harvey to live because Mary was almost left without housing and livelihood. Again, thanks to the efforts of her ex-husband. But Marjorie's son from a previous marriage had it better.
You know, when I married Marjorie, Marjorie had 3 children. The challenge in that, man, is that, I mean, you know, one time one of them said to me, "You ain't my daddy."
He could not raise his hand against her beloved son, and bribery came into play. Steve showered the guy with money. Thanks to this, Jason was able to open his own brand, Atlanta label Worldly, and get married before anyone else in his family at only 21. Daddy pays for everything. Marjorie is happy. She has a house in which only those who love her live, thanks to Steve. Perhaps such blind love made him miss her affair with the bodyguard. How many more victims do you think Marjorie Harvey will leave behind? Or will her husband see the light and throw the liar out? Share your predictions in the comments.